We are in the middle of a heat wave, so today I want to talk about how inflammation in the body is impacted by higher outdoor temperatures. Our heat wave is in the lower 80s, but I'm in the Pacific Northwest. We're just not used to it here. Science.org states there's a significant association between ambient temperatures and higher levels of key biomarkers of subclinical inflammation. Subclinical inflammation is low-grade chronic inflammation, oftentimes associated with aging. And a side note about biomarkers, scienceinsights.org says a biomarker is any measurable characteristic of your body that indicates what's happening inside of it. The FDA says it's a defined characteristic that is measured as an indicator of normal biological processes, pathogenic processes, or responses to an exposure or an infection. Back to sciencedirect.com, who says these biomarkers have been linked to increased susceptibility to chronic diseases and mortality. They say these findings underscore the role of environmental factors in subclinical inflammation. A recent nationwide study in Spain found that high exposures to both low and high temperatures was associated with increased morbidity and mortality from various cardiovascular and respiratory diseases. Heart.org states that increased outdoor temperatures can significantly trigger and exacerbate the body's inflammatory pathways. The body's cooling mechanisms can also be compromised. MedicalExpress.com, everything will be in the show notes. This one's spelled a little funny. It says even short-term exposure to higher heat may increase inflammation and interfere with normal immune system functioning. This might increase susceptibility to infection and could accelerate the progression of cardiovascular disease. They remind us that inflammation is a normal part of the body's defenses against injury or infection. However, if it is long-standing, they define this as weeks or months. Or if it occurs in healthy tissue, it is damaging and plays a key role in the buildup of plaque in the arteries. There was a study at the University of Louisville, Kentucky, where they had people come to the campus in the heat of the summer and they looked at their blood under a microscope. And they noted for every 5-degree increase of temperature, but they also measured humidity, wind speed, and UV radiation. This is via what's known as the Universal Thermal Climate Index. So with every 5-degree increase, there was an increase in levels of key markers of inflammation. This indicates activation of the body's innate immune system, which spurs a fast and non-specific inflammatory response. I always want to remind people this includes the brain. They say even minor exposure to increased temperatures can contribute to changes in the immune markers. Get in the shade, stay hydrated, watch your electrolytes, stay cool in health.